US has managed to strangle and trap the Russian economy while hijacking the entire energy industry. If you do a simple Google search, who dominates the oil industry, you'll see it's the United States and Russia, along with, of course, Saudi Arabia. Same thing if you look up who supplies the most liquid natural gas, it's the United States. But so is Russia. But Russia can't sell as much oil or natural gas as it used to because of their war on Ukraine and the Western sanctions. And since Europe can't get a lot of their oil and natural gas from Russia, they're getting it now from the United States. This has derailed any chances of Russia having an other than commodities economy for at least the next 20-30 years. This is a chart of all of Russia's exports. 43% of it is oil, 15% of it is some other kind of commodities, 6.4% is precious metals, 5.9% iron. You see the rest. Let's compare it to a list of China's exports, a much more developed economy. Look, 27% electrical equipment, 15% machinery, nuclear reactors, 4.2% vehicles, 4% plastic. Russia wants to develop the way China has, but they can't, especially now. Because oil and natural gas are Russia's main sources of revenue in order to fund the war. If they can't sell as much of this energy, then they can't fund the war and they lose. That has made even worse to Russia's shift to a wartime economy. When Russia first invaded Ukraine, they barely had to make any real changes to their economy in order to fund the war. But because it has been going so terribly for them, and Ukraine is able to hold off the might of Russia with antiquated NATO equipment, Russia is suffering. The only way Russia can survive this war is if they devote their entire economy to this war, and they are not even fighting NATO. This is a gift that the US military-industrial complex has been praying for decades. When a nation switches to a wartime economy, their own oil consumption skyrockets. Russia is already facing fuel shortages around the country because that fuel is going to the military. As Russia transitions deeper into a wartime economy for their very survival, guess what? They are going to be exporting much less oil to the rest of the world, which means they will be getting much less revenue. And the Russian people will be facing massive energy shortages nationwide. Russia is barely able to get any kind of semiconductors for their advanced weaponry so far. Russia will be producing fleets of inferior technology, while NATO will be mass-producing technology that's still at the cutting edge. And of course, everyone's freaking out because the spokesman for NATO is saying that we have to prepare for war with Russia in 6 to 20 years. I heard the same thing when I was a child, and everyone was terrified about the Soviet bloc invading West Germany. That was during the Cold War, which lasted at the end of World War II to the very early 1990s. A lot of you are too young to remember or even know what that was, but people my age and older, we all remember preparing for the nuclear assault that was eventually going to come. Almost every day there was some kind of newsflash about a provocation that could result in World War III. This is exactly what the military-industrial complex wants. They want everyone scared. They want everyone's tensions to be at the brink of war because that's how they get voters to elect politicians who want to give the Pentagon and other military firms unlimited spending. I'm the Geo Husar, and when I'm not making sourdough starters, I am telling unpleasant truths. Thanks for watching, and give me a follow.